Marking his first visit to China in 5 years following the 2020 Galwan clashes, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar arrived in Beijing today. Now, the trip comes ahead of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Foreign Ministers meeting in Tianjin on July 15th and includes key bilateral talks aimed at stabilizing relations after years of strain. Well, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with Shanghai Cooperation Organization Secretary General Nurlan Yermakbayev in Beijing today. Detailing the meet, S. Jaishankar said the discussions between the two included the contribution and importance of the 10-member organization and endeavors to modernize its working. Dr. S. Jaishankar also held talks with Chinese Vice President Zheng shortly after landing in Beijing after concluding his visit to Singapore. He conveyed the message that continued normalization of India-China ties can produce mutually beneficial outcomes, and an open exchange of views between the two sides is very important, considering the complex global scenario. Well, Jaishankar also mentioned that the bilateral relations between India and China have been improving since October last year, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping met in Kazan. Now, joining me on this broadcast is Siddhant Sibal, who is our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs. Siddhant, talk to us about the significance of this visit and what can we expect from the discussions?
Well, quite a significant visit of the Indian Foreign Minister, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. The last time he visited China was way back in 2019. And that was much before the Galwan clashes. And after the Galwan clashes of 2020, we saw a free fall in the relationship last year when the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping met on the sidelines of the Kazan summit, the BRICS summit in Kazan in Russia. Both sides essentially worked out on action plan to normalize the relationship, in which the focus was resumption of the people-to-people relationship, direct flight connectivity and sharing of the water data. Now, we have seen since then the foreign ministers meeting on the sidelines of various summits, the defense ministers meeting, the Indian NSA traveling to China for the SR level talks, the Indian Foreign Secretary traveling to China for talks, the Chinese Vice President traveling to India, and it is expected in next few weeks the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will be traveling to India for the SR level border talks. Now, essentially we know that both sides, as they work towards normalization, the focus is to make sure that the complexity in the relationship, there can be a certain kind of breather. In fact, if you look at the statement made by the Indian Foreign Minister in Beijing earlier today, he pointed out to steady improvement in the relationship. Now, this terminology is the first such usage of terminology since the Kazan meeting, and shows that there is optimism on both sides, India and China, that there is progress being made in normalization of the relationship. Similar comments and sentiments being echoed by the Vice President of China as well. And remember that China is the chair of the SCO, and India has extended its support to its SCO presidency. Now, what does that mean? That basically means that India is going to contribute to SCO presidency, and that also means that the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi could travel to China next month. The SCO summit happens on 31st to 1st of September, 31st of August and 1st of September. And if the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi travels, that will be a big breakthrough in many ways for the relationship. So a lot of optimism oozing out in the relationship, even at a time when it comes to a lot of comments coming from India over Chinese support to Pakistan during the May conflict.
Absolutely, Siddhant. It is a very positive marker, and of course we'll have to wait and see how the ties evolve. But for now, thank you so much for getting us that report.